Good afternoon. This is Eric the Rural Xer here with you on a cold and cloudy day, February, I think it's the 22nd, 2025. Kind of late in the afternoon, probably around, it's actually about, what time is it? About 15 to 5 right now. And Teresa and Jalen are out of town right now. They'll be home later on this evening. And of course, my son, he's off on his own with his girlfriend doing something. And so I was at home by myself for a while and done some odds and ends around the house, and was planning on doing this video sometime today. And I almost put it off because it's so cold out there. It was very pretty earlier this morning when we first got up, but it was bitterly cold. It was down in the mid to high 20s when we first got up this morning. Finally warmed up enough where I could get out of the house and do some odds and ends around there that I'd been planning on doing. I didn't mean to take as much time as I did, but unfortunately I did. Finally got through pretty much with everything that I was planning on doing today. And still got a handful of odds and ends, but that can be done some other time. So I decided to take a quick shower and head out, go to town and get some food since I really hadn't eaten anything today. So I did that, run some odds and ends. But now I'm in town and fixing to go around some of the places that I've been to before here in Jasper. And I'll probably include some of the other places down in Canton as well, abandoned places that I've done videos on in the past that has changed. Some for the better, some for the worst. Some have been tore down, some have been repurposed for other businesses. But anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing, just kind of taking a quick look at all these places that I have done videos on in the past and see where they are today. So come along and join me if you will. Well, here we are at one of the more popular sites that I've done an abandoned video on. Not too awful long ago. It's probably been about a year or two ago that I've done a video here. And some of y'all may recognize this. This is the old Lawson Chevrolet dealership lot here. And they have completely tore the old, let me back out here and I'll show, there we go. They completely tore down, as you can see, the old Lawson Chevrolet dealership building and have gone up with a brand new Publix that we're getting here in Jasper, right here at the corner of Camp Road and 515. And as you can see, there's the Publix, and there's looks like some other shops out there towards the right end of it. But over here too, to my right, is what's going to be a Chick-fil-A. We're actually getting a Chick-fil-A here. I think that's what that is. I'm not sure. I know we're supposed to be getting a Chick-fil-A, and I know we're also supposed to be getting a Longhorn Steakhouse. But this is the site of the old Lawson Chevrolet. Of course, Days bought it whenever Lawson decided to go out of business. Well, retire, I guess. And anyway, Days Chevrolet bought it, and they bought some land on up the road just to the north of here to build a new Chevrolet place. As you remember, the one that was here was very, very, very much dilapidated, falling in literally in places in the building. If you remember my video. And actually, if you want me to, I can put a link in the description below to that video so you can see what it was like then. But yep, this is the old Lawson Chevrolet dealership lot here, and now they're going up with a brand new Publix. And here we are at what most people probably would see as just a nondescript Verizon store, but actually this is the site of what a lot of the locals probably considered the new old Hardee's. The first one that was here in Jasper was actually in town down from Main Street, and there was a Hardee's there, but it got closed up years ago, and then they built a Arby's there, Arby's roast beef restaurant. And it was open for several years. In fact, I ate there several times. I like Arby's, but then it shut down. And now it's some sort of a local business there now, or was last time I looked or checked. But anyway, this is the Hardee's that they built. And it did all right for several years. They built it back the latter part of the 2010s. Somewhere probably around 2017, maybe 2018 or somewhere. And it done all right for a couple of years, but then COVID hit, and I think they ended up, it really hurt them badly because I think not only did they lose a lot of business, I think they were losing some business anyway, just because of the location and stuff, but also due to the fact that they were having a hard time getting people to work for them and all. So that was one of the things. I want to drive on around here. I didn't want to really park in the front because they're open for business, and I didn't want them wondering what in the world I was doing out there filming the store. But that is the old Hardee's business right there. So just to give you kind of a quick look at it. And they gutted the place whenever they bought it and repainted the outside and changed, of course, the inside and everything. So that was the old Arby's. We're now at the old Eckerd / Rite-Aid here in Jasper. This is one of my first abandoned places that I did. Done a pretty thorough job of it whenever I filmed this place, and at the time it was sitting empty, and it sat empty for several years. In fact, it sat empty for probably another couple of 3 years after I filmed it the first time, and then Family Tree finally came in here and bought it and gutted the place, and well, they didn't have to do too much. They remodeled the inside. As you can see, the outside is pretty much the same. Hadn't changed much about the outside, except just take down the Rite-Aid sign there on the front and put up the Dollar Tree sign. But this is the one, it started out as an Eckerd, and then got bought out by Rite-Aid, and they had it for several years, but they were hurting because right across the street, as you can see, right over here, is Walgreens that came in a few years after Eckerd got built. And they've been doing pretty good business over there. And also, finally, that Rite-Aid, I think the whole chain of Rite-Aid stores pretty much went under. And like I said, they closed this one down, and it sat empty for quite a number of years. But for those of you who've been following my channel for quite a while, as you remember, this is one of the first ones that I did right here, was this old Eckerd drugstore, and it was abandoned at the time. That's right, we are back at the Blue Rodeo Cafe, one of my early abandoned videos that I did. And just getting a look at the building. Yes, it is still abandoned. Let me back out here and give you a better view of it. There's the whole building. And yeah, it's changed a little bit, as you can tell if you remember in the first video that I'd done of it. The front part of it, for the most part, was painted a dark blue, and I think there might have been some red trim around it. I'm not for sure, but not long after that, they repainted, And Netflix used this building, and I may have mentioned this in some of the comments or maybe in the video itself, I don't know. But Netflix used this as a filming location for the series, or movie I should say, Pieces of Her. Not really sure what it's about, I just looked it up. And the article that I looked up in the Pickens Progress dated back to July 9th, 2021, so it's been about 3 years ago now that they did that. And but that was really the only thing that has gone on here since the Blue Rodeo itself closed. They use that as a filming location, but it's still sitting here abandoned. There has been, I think, some interest in this place from, I don't know, locals, possibly wanting to lease it, rent it, buy it, or something. But anyway, as you can see, it hasn't really changed too awful much except for the outside color of it, and that's about it. Sign's still there. Looks like they've got a dumpster out here. I don't know if it's for this building or the one over here next door. This used to be the Jasper TV and Appliance right here store. They've moved around several different locations. Actually, they're just up the road now in another building, and kind of a new building just north of here, back towards town. So anyway, just taking a quick look at this, the old Blue Rodeo Cafe. And here's the old Bill's truck stop, just south of town, that I did a video on, and actually did a fairly extensive video on it. Went inside, looked around. Didn't go upstairs. I don't think there was even a floor between the upper and lower part of the building. I'm actually driving through a parking lot, but yeah, I've done a fairly extensive one, looked around from the outside in and everything, and done quite a bit of historical background of what I could find on the building from local people who remembers it and everything. There was actually this, and then there was also another building that was actually on up the road in that area right over there towards where that dumpster's at. Might have been where that building is at. Yeah, that's where it is, where that building is at right there too. So that was part of it all along through there, and I think it went, you know, kind of on down there as well into this vacant lot area. But as you can tell, there's not much been changed about it. Still pretty much the same and all. So just thought I'd get a quick shot of it across the road here. We are now south of town at my very first abandoned location that I did. Actually, it was the very first video that I ever did for this channel, was Dunn's Fina. And as you can tell, right there, in this area right here, right about there is where it used to be. It's gone. I think it was last year that they came in and bulldozed it down and loaded it up in dumpsters and hauled it off. I don't know exactly why. The building was, when I filmed it, it was in pretty good shape, and it was being, well, I wouldn't say it's being kept really good, but it was, you know, in fairly good shape. It didn't look like the roof was caving in. The ceiling was falling down on the inside. I'd done quite a bit of filming quite extensively around here. Now, I have heard also that they took the gas tanks that was underneath this lot here. But honestly, I do not see any indication of that, unless it was over in this area back over here where all this weeds and kudzu is growing. But I don't see any indication that they took it up. Now, that's not to say they didn't, but you would think that if they did, they would have busted up the concrete, and you'd have seen where, and they probably wouldn't have put the concrete back down. So therefore, it kind of makes me think that they didn't. Now, There is a pad over here, but I think that's part of the old building. That's part of the old building. That's a little bit different color concrete there than is over here. This has been outside, much dirtier than that over there. So at first I thought that might have been where they took those tanks up and then recovered it with fresh concrete, but that's just part of the old store there. It doesn't look like the tanks themselves. I don't know. I'm not saying that they should be taken up. I'm just saying it doesn't look like they've taken them up. Because like I said, if they would have taken them up, they would have had to bust the concrete somewhere around here, and I doubt very seriously that they would have put concrete or asphalt back down, being that they're not doing anything with this lot here at all. So it doesn't look like they've been taken up, but the building itself has been taken down. And the gate's just wide open down there. I just drove right in and kind of looked around. Ain't nothing here to really see. It's one of those things that they tore down, unfortunately. And as you can see over here, the old sign that was up there is still down on the ground right there. So, and there's part of the other sign right there, but it's still there. But the Sitco sign, and it started out as a Fina, and then it changed to Sitco in later years. But anybody who's familiar with the history of this place, it started out just as a convenience store and gas station, fairly small, pretty small and basic for a gas station and all. I've seen pictures in the early days of it. It was very nice. In fact, I actually included those pictures in my first video, and it was pretty nice. But then in later years, they said that, and I wasn't living here, so I can't confirm this myself, I don't remember it, but they said that the original one had burnt down and they had to rebuild it. But whenever they rebuilt it with a kitchen and a restaurant on the back side, which was part of Dunn's Fina. And they said that they had really good home cooking food, and a lot of people from around this area would come here and eat on Sundays. I've never eaten here myself. It sounded like that they had some really good food, really good biscuits. A lot of people stop here for the biscuits and all. Very good. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that, because of the times, it just went out of business and sat vacant for a number of years. And I filmed it several years ago before they did tear it down. But this is just a kind of an update on it. I don't know that there's any plans to do anything with the lot. I don't know that anybody's interested in it.
Stop everything. Hold the presses. Newsflash, I just got word from my wife that there was a recent news article on the Facebook group Jasper, Georgia News saying that this site was going to be used for a new Clipper Petroleum truck stop. Take that for what it's worth, because in the comments of the article, someone had posted a picture from years ago with a sign at the gated entrance saying, "Coming soon, Clippers Deluxe Travel Center," which I myself remember seeing. So either this has been in the works for a very long time, or this is just another ploy to string the public's interest along. Now, I'm not saying they are or not coming. I'm just going to view it with a lot of skepticism until I actually see it happen myself. Like a lot of rumors around here, don't believe it till you see it. I'll link the article in the description below so you can read it for yourself. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
In fact, my personal opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, is that the reason they went out of business, maybe not the only reason, but one of the main reasons, is because they had so much competition, especially whenever they put in the racetrack, which is just probably not a half mile down the road, down 515 on the right down there. It was just much more convenient for people who was going towards Atlanta to actually turn there and get gas down there than it was to try to turn across this traffic here at this intersection of 108 and 515 to get over here. And it's set up on a hill, and a lot of people didn't know about it unless they were locals and stuff. So Again, that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, I don't know if you can see this or not in the light, but where they've tore the old building down of the Dunn's Fina, you can tell that the floor is still there. Some of the tile floor and stuff is still laying down there on the slab for the old building, all the way back through there. It's very interesting. Well, that concludes this video. I was planning on going down to Canton and filming some of those locations of abandoned places that I did in my early days of this channel. But it's getting late this afternoon, and I've briefly filmed quite a few locations around here in Jasper, including my very first location that I did, which is this Dunn's Fina that I'm still at right now. But anyway, thank you for coming along on this romp, if you will, down memory lane of these abandoned places that I did. Like I said at the beginning of this video, some of the places have changed quite dramatically, some for the better, some not so much for the better, for the worse, unfortunately, like this abandoned Dunn's Fina right here. And yeah, it got tore down for whatever reason. I guess they figured that no one was going to try to buy it in the condition that it was in, even though it wasn't that bad of condition. But I guess they just didn't maybe they didn't want the liability of someone possibly breaking in and doing something to the place, or getting hurt or something like that. But for whatever reason, they did tear it down. Now some of the other places really hasn't changed. Like I showed you, the Blue Rodeo Cafe, it's still there, still abandoned. The only thing that's really changed about it is the outside paint on it. That Bill's truck stop, still sitting abandoned. Building hasn't changed at all. Windows are still gone in it and everything. But it's been like that for years and years and years. I think ever since I've lived down here, honestly. And some of the other places have been repurposed, like the old Hardee's. They're on 515, right there in Jasper. Got repurposed for not what I was hoping or was expecting. Honestly, I'd heard rumors that it was going to be Whataburger had bought it, and they were going to put in a Whataburger, and that would have been fantastic. I would have loved to have seen a Whataburger come in here. It's something that you really don't hear about that much around here. They are finally starting to come in. The closest one to us that I know of, there's one in Cumming, one in Marietta, and I think there's one in Alpharetta somewhere. I haven't been to that one. The only one that I've actually been to, there is one down at Woodstock, and I've been there a couple of times at work, because it's just down the road from where I work at in the school district on the south side of Cherokee County in the Woodstock area. And I've been down there a couple of times for lunch, and it's really good. So yeah, there's some around here, but not that close. There's several miles to get to them. I would have loved to have seen that come in. But we are fortunately getting a Longhorn, from what I understand for sure, and a Chick-fil-A. And I'm really surprised that it's taken this long for Chick-fil-A to come in here, because Chick-fil-A is one of the absolute most popular fast food restaurants there is. I'm not real crazy about it. I'm not saying their food is bad by no means. I'm just not a big chicken person. Every once in a while I do eat at one for lunch, but usually what I get is like a grilled chicken wrap that they have. I like it really well. But chicken sandwiches, I can take them or leave them. I have eat them at work if they're brought in for lunch for, a meeting we might be having or a training session or something like that, I have eat them there. But to go out and actually buy myself, nah, not really. I'm just, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with anybody who likes it. And that's great. That's fantastic. I think they're a great company. I really do. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting way off in the left field. But anyway, of course, you got the big Publix, which took over that lot where Lawson Chevrolet used to be at. So anyway, again, thank you for coming down this journey down memory lane of all these abandoned places that I've been to over the years. And thank you for watching this video. If you like this video and would like to see similar content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, if you would. That definitely helps the algorithm and helps more people to find these videos and watch them, and maybe even subscribe. I'm almost over 400 subscribers. I know that's not that big of a deal, but for me, being that I don't put out videos on a regular basis, I'm good to get 3 or 4 videos out every 2 or 3 months, honestly, if that much. You know, if I go on vacation, I do get quite a few videos and put them out, you know, over a course of maybe a week or something like that. But then I'll go have dry spells like I've just went through, and I'm trying to get some more videos like this. There's actually two or three more places that I would like to get around here, including some abandoned places, and there's a state park which is literally at our back door that I have yet to get over and film. I've been over there several times over the years with Teresa, and we've been over there, but I'll probably go over there by myself because there is a lot of walking involved. And it's Amicalola State Park, which is right at the beginning of the Appalachian Trail, not very far from the head of the southern terminus point of the Appalachian Trail. And in fact, if I go there, I'll even try to find where that's at and take you all along if you watch the video. But anyway, I'm going to bring this video to a close now and get on home, get in where it's warm, and check on Millie, our dog. So hope y'all have an absolutely wonderful evening. Again, consider subscribing to the channel and possibly give it a thumbs up again, and comment. If you like what you saw, leave a comment. Everything helps with the algorithm. So with that being said, God bless, and we will see you in our next video.